So my name is Fabien Beckers. I'm one of the 4 founders of a company called Morpheus Medical. I come from France originally, where I did some physics studies initially, and then I ran a PhD at Cambridge, doing a lot of fundamental physics work. After that, I created my own company on the innovation, social innovation, initiated by create a guidance system for blind people that turned out to be not viable economically, and we pivoted and created a company on innovation and digital innovation. And I came after 2010, I think, to the United States to do the Sloan Fellowship at the Stanford GSB, which was an amazing experience. And during that time, I've always been passionate about bringing technology, creativity, and potential to do a big social impact. And the next question was, what was I going to do, and what would be the next work I was going to be able to work on. And I was having an idea of using computation to basically be able to help on the medical front and bring better diagnostics. And during that time, we've been doing a lot of brainstorming mode of what we can do, and we met. I met one of my first co-founders called John Arcelius, and 2 other amazing co-founders at Stanford, Albert Xiao and Shreyas Vasanawala, were both doctors. And the 4 of us created Morpheus, which is basically addressing a big need in the cardiac space. So what is fascinating in the healthcare in the United States, you have basically 2 types of bucket in terms of cost. One of which is oncology, which is cancer. And the other piece is cardiovascular diseases, which are costing tons of money, and millions of people are dying because of it. And so what is really surprising is that the lack of accuracy of the diagnostic tool in the cardiac space. So the gold standard today is mostly using what's called an echocardiogram, which is basically an ultrasound for the heart. That basically send a signal and bounce back to your tissues and give you kind of gross ideas of what's going on, but really gross ideas. So some of the resolution is kind of poor and definitely suboptimal, as well as the quantification, which is almost none. And as a result of that, that's the only non-invasive tool at hand today. And so anything after that is kind of really invasive. And so what we found is that there's a great technique which is better, accurate, and non-invasive using MRI to allow to really have and understand what's going on to the heart. The problem with that is that it's extremely tedious, extremely complicated to do. It takes a long time, up to an hour and a half, and the doctor time is heavily solicited. And so therefore it's hardly ever done in the United States, although it's really a wonderful tool. And so part of the work we've done at Stanford is leveraging the new technology coming to the market on the MRI front, and create software to basically be able to do a cardiac MRI under 10 minutes. So basically to have, plus you have more information, so you have the whole chest, and you can quantify everything. You see the blood flow everywhere, which is the first time, accurately measured. And you don't have a window, you have the whole chest. Your chest becomes fully transparent. So that's what I came to do, and we found the technology. We got a lot of support from amazing investors around the valley, amazing advisors. The team, I think, is incredible. And we had a term sheet with one great investor, and he said, look, we're happy to give you a term sheet, but is conditional upon the fact that you basically secure your immigration status. And the term sheet is temporary, it doesn't last forever. It's like for 30 days or 60 days. So I had a very short amount of time to secure my stay here in order to get this big amount of fundraising and launch and kick a company. At that time, I tried to go to an H-1B, and it got denied, because when you're a startup, basically, it's very hard to get an H-1B because you have to prove that employee-employee relationship, and of course you're small and nimble, and they can always oppose the fact that maybe you just have pretending that you have a company, but who knows if you can be fireable if you are a co-founder, or even if you're the CEO, there's no chance of that. So they denied it, and we appealed, and it didn't work through. So we tried other paths and it didn't work out, and so we're really getting to a level where it was almost like make or break. It was at a level where the company could have really gone down. I think it was on the verge of it, and basically came down to one person in one office somewhere in California that put a stamp on that O1 application we finally submitted. That came really the last day of the last minute that I could be able to stay there, and from that moment everything happened. So we managed to get through. It took a year. So it was a long and anxious, stressful process. And we got it through, and so since then I was not allowed to work for those 3 months prior to that, which was very stressful, of course. So either I had to go back with no company, probably would have probably never happened. We can help millions of kids today, for example, that have heart disease that we can't diagnose well. So the tool that we have built is perfectly suited for them. So good that we can help these people hire American, create an amazing company on the cardiac space, or go back to where I was with absolutely zero money left and back to square zero. So it was really interesting, and I think this story that I'm just telling you now is just one out of 100,000 people. And I think the reason we're telling it just because we want to prevent other people in the future to have to go to the same heights in order to just, when they have the same passion and the same desire to create value, I think. And it's not just in high tech, it's agriculture, it's other field as well. And so I think what you can't go without is talent, isn't it? You can't get a country or any kind of infrastructure successful without talent, and you want to favor initiatives. And those two things together have a lot of drags and barriers that preventing them to be able to be welcome on this amazing country and be able to create value and have social impact or any kind of business you want to create. And so I really hope that this bill that came through and is even probably more hopeful than anything we're thinking about will get the support, because what was frustrating on our part, for me and other entrepreneurs and investors and foreign people that came here, is how much people and Democrats or Republicans we met, senators or Congress people all across the aisle said this is an issue we have to fix. And although it says there's some resistance today, there's some drags, there's some limits and some stress, frankly, about what is it going to unleash. And I think from my end, being really every day today, hiring American, trying to hire the best talent to create a company of the ground and potentially create a gold standard in the cardiac space, which is amazing, which is we're very grateful to have this chance. And but for that we need to have the support of the government to allow us to be able to bring talents here, wherever they are, and allow them to develop an amazing company. So we hope they hear that message and that we can fix it.